This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Find out more about them and how you can receive a free 1-month membership trial later on in the video. Remember when Q&A videos were a thing? Well, we're bringing it back, hopping back on the Q&A train. Everyone's gonna start doing it again, answering the same questions over and over. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Hey you crazy kids, and welcome to my annual Q&A video. I don't mean to do this annually, it just kind of happens when I'm scraping for content. It's really based on how I'm feeling, and for this video I requested that you didn't ask any America's Got Talent related questions and impressions related questions because I am more than just a celebrity and a hot piece of voice. I'm more than just those things. So deal with that. In all seriousness, I do answer those same questions over and over again, and it does get old sometimes. So if you want to find out more about my AGT experience and the impressions that I like to do, you can check out my AGT tell-all interview that I did with Nancy Grace impersonator Shyla Grace over on their channel. I'll leave a link in the description for you. It was a lot of fun, and you should check it out because I basically explained my entire experience on AGT. So please feel free to check it out. Again, link in the description. The first questions come from my patrons at Patreon because patrons get first priority. If you'd like to help support me and my content and get first priority on questions and Q&A videos, please feel free to join me at patreon.com/DanielJFerguson. There's a great community going on right now, and there are a lot of great perks, so check it out. Please check it out. If you could star in any movie, which one would it be and what character? Immediately I have to say Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. I mean, that's my favorite animated movie, but also dragons. Hiccup, I relate to him on a very personal level. I'm a very awkward person, much like him, and I just feel like I could embody that character pretty well. Also, I would love to be Marty McFly in Back to the Future, but also Samwise Gamgee in the Lord of the Rings movies. What music do you like to listen to? I've been getting a lot into indie lately. I've just been using the station feature on Apple Music and just listening to what's out there. Young Rising Suns is one of my favorite bands overall. I also like a lot of older rock, some classic rock, some soft rock. I really like Kansas. I like Billy Joel and the Beatles and Elton John, Journey, Fleetwood Mac. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm typically not as into pop music as some other people might be. What sparked your love for cartoons and cartoon characters? It was just a lot of me watching cartoons growing up. I still watch mainly cartoons. I'd like some live action stuff, but cartoons are what I typically go back to. When I was a little kid, I would watch the shows that my parents grew up with, like Scooby-Doo and Looney Tunes, like all of the reruns that they used to have on TV. But I also watched a lot of shows that were new to television as they came out, including SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents and Avatar: The Last Airbender. And even years later, I'm still watching the new shows that have been coming out and unfortunately ending too, like Gravity Falls and Adventure Time and Steven Universe and Infinity Train. All amazing shows. I love them. Now on to questions in my YouTube community tab. Coke or Pepsi is a very important question. If it's Coke, it would have to be vanilla Coke. If it's Pepsi, it would have to be Pepsi Twist. I'm a root beer guy. I don't really drink either of them. Would you rather say everything you think of or be mute? That's a tough one because I have a lot of thoughts and they kind of manifest as an internal monologue. I found out that that's not a thing that everybody experiences. I thought that it would have been, but I would not want to have to say everything that I'm thinking in my head because that would be a nightmare for me. It would be stressful and probably a little embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'd go with mute. I could probably still do the Donald Duck voice if I was mute because I don't need my vocal cords for that.
Hello, how are you?
It'd be a tough life, but it's a sacrifice that I'd be willing to make. Are you gonna bring back Voices in My Closet? Ooh, that's a good question. For those of you that don't know, Voices in My Closet was a podcast type thing that I did for a while, a couple years ago, and it's not like a hidden joke in the title. It's just because the only space that I had was my walk-in closet. It had the best soundproofing, and I did not have like a room that had space to actually record stuff. Honestly, I just didn't get a lot of viewer/listenership from it. Over a year later, I actually recreated the podcast and just called it Voices, and still very small listenership, and I only did maybe 2 or 3 episodes. People aren't really interested. Maybe I'll do a poll and see how many people are genuinely interested, but thank you for asking. I don't hear anybody ever ever talk about that anymore, so that's nice that some people still are aware of that. Have you watched Hamilton? And if so, how many times? I haven't watched Hamilton. And it's not because I don't want to. I keep putting it off. Maybe by the time this video comes out, I will have seen it. Probably not, but I do want to see it. It's just not a top priority for me right now. Which do you like better, pizza or pasta? And what's your favorite of each? I can't really pick one over the other because I like them in different ways. Get me a good New York style pizza or chicken parmesan on a bed of spaghetti. I'd be satisfied if you give me one or the other. It's too hard to choose. What do you like most, DC or Marvel? I am a Marvel guy. I have only seen the Christian Bale Batman movies and the Wonder Woman movies, so I don't know much about DC, but I'm also very underwhelmed by their cinematography compared to Marvel. I also have not really read any comics, more Marvel comics than anything, but that's not really saying much. That's the kind of thing that excites me more than DC. I just haven't seen a solid DC movie. Personally, I know a lot of you people have your opinions, and it's not for me right now. Maybe I'll get into it when they make a good movie. Top 3 favorite YouTubers, and who would you collab with? Okay, so I have a lot of YouTubers that I watch, but my top 3 would have to be Good Mythical Morning with Rhett and Link, Jax Films, and The Game Grumps. I watch all of those on an almost daily basis. Also binging with Babish. Can I include that? Can I have like 2 in the same slot? If I could collab with any of them, it would definitely be Good Mythical Morning or Game Grumps. But I also really want to be able to collab with other voice actor YouTubers. Just a lot of YouTubers out there, and little old me who has yet to be noticed by any of them. So maybe someday. Where's your favorite place to travel and favorite thing to do there? I have not traveled enough to be able to brag about it. I'm from North America, by the way. I went to Toronto in Canada with some friends several years ago, and that was a lot of fun. But I do really love Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've just had a lot of good memories there. And I have friends who live there too, and so I just love going there and seeing them, and also do other fun stuff, so there's a lot to do. If you could bring one person to your life, who'd it be and why? Like, do you mean just bring them into my life that we have some sort of relationship, or bring them back from the dead? It's not too personal, it's just very thought-provoking. Why is it so tough? Maybe Mel Blanc, the voice actor for the majority of the Looney Tunes back when they first came out in the 30s, I think, and for a long time after that. He was probably my biggest inspiration starting out as, getting into voice acting, and if I had been alive in his time, I would have loved to have had a chance to meet him and sit down and talk with him. I would just want to talk about anything and everything. What's your weapon of choice? Probably a cardboard tube or a lightsaber. I mean, if you got a cat, what would you name it? Koji. That's the first thing that I could think of, but it would be named after Koji Kondo, the composer of most of the Legend of Zelda music, who I'm also a big fan of. Skyward Sword HD, now available on the Nintendo Switch. If you could choose any voice acting role, what would it be? I'd want to be Sokka from Avatar: The Last Airbender. He's got the best lines, and he's just a great character, and I've always been jealous of Jack DeSena for that character. Not that I would have been able to voice act for the character at that time. I was too young for that. Apple iPhone or Samsung smartphone? Very important. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Hey Siri.
Stop calling me Siri, you little prick.
Which of the Disney Pixar movies are your favorite? I love Monsters, Inc. Gotta also say Toy Story. They're like right there on my tier list. Hey, do you have pets? How many? What breeds? I don't have any pets. I had goldfish when I was 4 and they died in a month, which is sad. I have plants. Do you want to see my plants? I can show you my plants. Speaking of plants, I want to take a moment to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. You'll see what I mean. Skillshare is an online community that offers a vast selection of classes for creators to explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. Some of the many topics to choose from include film and video, photography, and lifestyle. I've never grown plants before, but I've been learning a lot about keeping to an easy schedule. And thanks to Eka Chaudhary's class on indoor gardening, I can make sure my little jalapeno babies thrive so that I may one day eat them. What's great about Skillshare is that it's ad-free to allow you to focus on honing your craft and exploring your creative side. Plus, the classes you see on their site are just the tip of the iceberg. They're always launching new premium classes to keep you engaged. The first 1,000 subscribers to click the link in the description and join right now will receive a free 1-month trial of Skillshare so you can discover what inspires you and accomplish real growth. Get it? Growth? Plant humor? Okay, back to the questions. Can you do a Michael Jackson impression? Yeah. What is your favorite movie? The Princess Bride. I love it. I quote it all the time. Maybe I'll do impressions for that movie sometime. Who knows? What is the worst food you have ever eaten? If my mom watches this, then I sincerely apologize, Mom, but the worst food I've ever had was fish that was breaded in toasted coconut. One night when I was in high school, my mom cooked this fish that was breaded with the coconut shavings. I knew that I wasn't gonna like it, and maybe that's why I hated it so much, because I kept psyching myself out and telling myself I wouldn't like it. I tried making myself throw up after the fact because it just wasn't sitting well into my stomach. Like, it made me feel sick. I hate coconut, and that's like a thing that my family knows. Like, I cannot stand coconut flakes. It makes me want to throw up. And I'm sorry, Mom. You never made it again, which I am so thankful for, but was not a good experience for me. Disney World or Disneyland? I hear people say that Disneyland is better, but I've also only ever been to Disney World, and I've only been there once, and it was 2 years ago, and I had a lot of fun, but I can't really compare them. Cats or dogs? Both of them in different situations. I do like how dogs are more playful and stuff like that. Cats are nice because they don't require that much maintenance, but I also don't like hair. I don't like the cat fur and the dog fur and dog hair. I could get a hypoallergenic animal. I can't do shedding. Halloween or Christmas? Spook or Santa? I like Halloween for the dressing up aspect of it. I like Christmas for the family aspect of it. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. Yes, even though it was based off of a lie. It's fine because we still celebrate it for the reasons that we initially thought it was, which is giving thanks for what we have for family and for our lives, and that's good. We've turned it from a bad thing into a good thing. Thanksgiving also has the best food, don't at me. Why did you make this channel? Okay, so this is something that I don't talk about that much. I originally made this channel to make money. I won't lie about that. I knew that I was gonna be in a lot of student loan debt. I created this channel in the hopes that I would gain enough followers in a short period of time to pay off my student loans. That has not happened. Unfortunately, it's not very realistic, and a very small percentage of my subscribers actually watch my videos, but it sort of evolved into something completely different. I realized that I could not only put my work out there, but also sort of hone my craft, and I was able to practice my voice acting and just get my stuff out there. It's allowed me more avenues for auditioning for different projects. I'm glad that it did evolve from, the original motivation of money into more of a, career builder type of thing. Yeah, that's how it started out. What's your favorite color and why? My favorite color is green, and I just like how it sort of contrasts well with my red hair and also my pale skin. It works really well. It's a very specific shade of green. It's like a Kelly green type of thing. I wish I had like a shirt or something that would be a good example of that, because I think that would be, the best way to demonstrate with. Oh! Thank you all for watching, and thank you to all of those who submitted questions. I had a great time not answering any AGT or impressions related questions. It's very refreshing to see some questions that I've never answered before, and I hope to get more of those, and maybe we'll do a Q&A video, not a year from now, maybe a little bit sooner than that. We'll see. Thank you once again to my patrons. Again, patreon.com/DanielJFerguson. Stay safe, and until next time, crazy kids.